Greetings Mavericks and new viewers. Tonight, direct and live from the Maverick News Network World Studios. This is Maverick News with Rick Walker.
Welcome back to the Maverick News channel, everyone. Celebrities and the election, celebrities and politics, celebrities in the news, celebrities in trouble. It's a cornucopia of celebrities tonight. We'll bring you Michael Douglas in Ukraine. We have Taylor Swift. We'll get you to comment on that if you want during a call-in portion of the program. Taylor Swift's endorsement of Kamala Harris. We'll take a look at some of the celebrities backing Donald Trump. We'll take a look at what's going on with P-Diddy on suicide watch. He's in trouble. And we'll take a look at what's going on over in the Middle East. Israel striking inside Lebanon, taking a big bite out of Hezbollah and their leadership. So we have all that. We'll let you guess what tonight's Maverick Midnight Matinee is going to be later on tonight after Maverick News. I'll give you guys an opportunity to guess on our movie for tonight. And yeah, we've got a whole bunch of stuff lined up, so it should be an interesting program, an interesting conversation when we open the phone lines for everyone to participate if you so choose. Exercise your right to free speech right here on the Maverick News channel.
He's a fighter. He's a survivor. President Trump, defiant, strong. He is determined to make America great again. Pay tribute to the 45th President of the United States with this collectible t-shirt from the Maverick News Memorable Moments collection. Even a would-be assassin's bullet could not stop him. Instead, he emerged with his fist in the air ready to fight for freedom. Get your Trump Fighting for Freedom t-shirt with any donation of $30 or more to Maverick News. There are two iconic artistic designs to choose from, but there is only one way to get these. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Support free speech. Free media. Support Maverick News. Call 1-866-248-1490 or order online at supergeeks.tv.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the Founding Fathers. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on Earth.
The entire world is watching.
Every dictator, every crazy dictator in the world is watching.
The world is watching. On TV, the entire world is watching. On social media.
But the entire world is watching, and yes, they are seeing what we have apparently bravely been willing to say that others are thinking.
Stand for freedom. Literally stand for freedom. Let's get this done. The entire world is watching.
We're at war with the most dangerous enemy that has ever faced mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars.
Maverick News. Maverick News. Maverick News.
Let me have more control of my own destiny.
The world is watching.
First up tonight, though, even though I didn't mention it in the headlines, the Million March for Children protest today, or Hands Off Our Kids event, took place across Canada in many cities. A year ago, it was huge. Did they get 1 million people out? Hard to tell. Last year, they very well may have done just that. It was massive. Mainstream media tried to ignore it last year. They did get some coverage. This year, also, they tried to ignore it. In fact, they didn't just try. I think they pretty much did. I haven't seen any mainstream media coverage of it today, but we have a little bit of video to share with you here tonight. This is Chris Dacey. This is his video out of Ottawa today. This was the scene as the 1 million March for Children protesters encountered, not unexpectedly, counter-protesters, really many of them from the union movement and I would say the far left political spectrum. Same basic group of people who are out there protesting against the freedom groups on a regular basis. Of course, today's protest really about drag queen story time, the what they're teaching kids in schools, an effort to assert parental rights, and oppose policies being implemented across Canada where parents are not told everything that's going on with their kids. So that's really what was at stake today. Those were the main issues, and this is what it looked like in Canada's capital, on Parliament Hill and around it. Of course, the counter-protesters accusing the protesters of being transphobic. Alexa Lavoie being called out, shouted down, or whatever from Rebel News.
These are the men that want to control little girls. Compete against little girls. Going little girls
This guy's pretty aggressive here. Watch this guy, he's real angry. You're pretty angry, man. What'd you call her? Full of love, you guys, eh? Yeah.
You dumb fuck, Stacey, go home. You're such a fucking twat. She don't understand that Palestine do not support LGBTQ.
Is she wearing a keffiyeh?
Yeah, you know that there are queer people everywhere, right?
Sure.
And you fuckers are here.
Most queer people aren't trying to force their queerness on the rest of society. They're not trying to indoctrinate children. I thought that was illegal.
That is annoying.
I'm on my side. You're crossing the line.
Maybe I'm just getting old. I can't stand the noise. Jeez. Oh man.
Why are you out in the street if you don't want to be seen? You want to talk about dangerous people in front of the hill?
That was Chris Dacey in Ottawa today. 1 Million March for Children. This is Jeff Evely out in Nova Scotia. This is what it looked like. This was him at the beginning of the march.
1 Million March for Children, Sydney, Nova Scotia. Hey, what's up, everybody? 1 Million March for Children, Sydney, Nova Scotia. Getting ready to step off here. We have some counter demonstrators from QP, of course, which, anybody got a sign for those guys? Children used for pharmacological exploitation. That's what QP stands for these days.
I just spoke with Scott. He's kind of like their leader.
Okay.
And that you're going to stay on the right side, you're going to go on the left.
Yep.
And you're going to Falmouth first and then up where the library is. Okay?
That sounds good to me.
All right.
I am on the right and they're on the left.
I'll
So.
be following you in my car.
All right, let's do this. So, guys. Excuse us, folks. Gonna get through. Thank you very much. Excuse us. Excuse us. Thank you. Sure. Thank you. Oops. Yeah, no problem.
And Jeff on the program just a few days ago.
All right.
Facing
Not too shabby, not too
sentencing
shabby.
now after being convicted on the
Big sign
mischief
here.
charge.
Lots of medical outcomes on there. I think it's important for people to see that stuff.
Because of
That's
his
what
presence
bottom
at
line
the
is at the end of the day.
Freedom
These are
Convoy.
the harms, the outcomes. This is where this leads. Permanent medical patients. How's my pace, guys? Too fast, too slow? Little fast? Okay. I was a marcher in my career. That's what the medal on the right side is for. It's not like a real medal. It's more like a... it was from a duke, actually, in the Netherlands. It's for the...
Wait, Jeff, wait.
Waiting.
They didn't come. Can you, why are they still standing there? You want to go, can you go back and get the others? Everybody else up there? For our side? Yeah. No, they're leaving. Royal Escort, nice.
All right. We got a couple of stragglers here. We good? We got everybody? Some folks there.
Oh no, I think there's still some folks up there, but I think they're oblivious to what we're doing. It's okay.
Maybe they're not up to walking.
Maybe.
How far down is going?
We're just going to do a lap around, come back up Dorchester. We're going down to Falmouth and then coming back Dorchester. Oh, I appreciate the effort, guys. We have a couple of people here who are differently abled, accessibility issues, so it's good to see everybody putting in the effort. We got Cupid over there on the other side of the street, shouting no space for hate at us. So, pretty standard, I guess. Of course, it's all a little silly to us. We're out here talking about protecting children, those most vulnerable among us in our society. We're out here because we love children, because we hate everybody, anybody for that matter. I should show you the other side of my sign here. Oh, maybe I can't quite flip it around.
I do too, and I believe I blame taking God out of school. Yes.
That
As soon
is
as you took God out of school,
me
you
in
did- that was
2018 in my military uniform at a drag show. It was a fundraiser. I was with homeless veterans at the time, and authorized to wear my uniform during doing my outreach activities. Everybody good? Thank you. I'm going to turn right here on the other side of the intersection. We're going to stay on the right side. 1 million March for Children. Small town, Nova Scotia, Sydney, Nova Scotia.
And that's the way it was today. As I say, nowhere near what happened a year ago. But things are changing. The mood is different. And I think people are a little bit tired. Protests, there's not as much spark there to get things cranked up for the issues that brought the people out into the streets a year ago for that issue. Instead, we're seeing people upset about what's going on in mainly the Middle East, and then the politics surrounding all that. We're getting the protests. We've seen the protests on university campuses. You know what I'm talking about. So, with that, it brings us to what happened today in the Middle East. And Israel announced the death of a high-ranking Hezbollah official in a targeted strike in Beirut today. This action comes in response to a significant escalation, with Hezbollah launching a barrage of fire across the border after Israeli attacks that reportedly targeted the group's communication devices. The Israeli Defense Forces, or IDF, identified the deceased as Ibrahim Akil, described as the head of Hezbollah's operations. The attack resulted in the deaths of 14 individuals and injuries to 66, as reported by the Lebanese National News Agency. In fact, I'm seeing some reports tonight indicating that Hezbollah has lost a significant number of senior people in their leadership ranks. Hezbollah has confirmed the loss of their commander. The situation is increasingly tense, raising concerns of an imminent all-out war between Israel and the Iran-backed group, with Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah promising retaliation. Earlier this week, a series of explosions, as I'm sure you all know, affected pagers used by Hezbollah operatives across Lebanon, killing at least 37 people. Among them, some civilians, 2 children. 3,000 at least were injured. I have to say, it was a very targeted attack, obviously, because their targets, for the most part, were wearing the devices. They had them on their persons. You can't get much more targeted than that. Accusations of terrorism have been flowing. The United Nations today urging Israel, I think both sides, but mostly they're trying to talk to Israel, and they're urging, begging, I guess, or asking for, demanding, whatever, efforts be made to avoid further escalation, but it's pretty clear we're not going to get it. And the UN, I don't think they're in the good graces of Israel at all, especially after passing that resolution saying that, well, condemning what Israel is doing in Gaza by a wide majority, 124 countries voting against Israel this week. In that, I think it was only a handful of countries that voted in favor of. I don't remember the exact number, maybe 34. I know Canada abstained. There were quite a number of other countries that abstained as well. The United States voted against the resolution and for Israel. Following the airstrike in Beirut, IDF spokesperson Danielle Hagari stated that the operation also eliminated approximately 10 other Hezbollah commanders, as I said, that were linked to daily attacks against Israel. The Lebanese National News Agency further reported that an Israeli warplane struck an apartment in the Al Jamas area, although the full extent of civilian casualties remains unclear. The conflict intensified after the IDF targeted southern Lebanon, destroying nearly 100 Hezbollah launchers and infrastructure deemed threats to Israel. Hezbollah retaliated with missile strikes on northern Israel, prompting the IDF to report numerous rocket launches crossing the border. Israel's foreign ministry has issued a stern warning, stating that those who harm Israeli citizens will face consequences. Meanwhile, the United Nations is calling for de-escalation, as I said, with the Security Council scheduled to meet to discuss the situation further. As tensions rise, questions persist regarding how the explosives were embedded in those communications devices, thousands of them, used by Hezbollah. Authorities in Taiwan and Bulgaria have denied any involvement, stating that the devices were manufactured by a Hungarian firm acting merely as a trading intermediary. We'll continue to follow this developing story. I think we have a little bit of video we can share with you tonight on this front. Let me just take a little break. I'm going to cue a couple of things up and we'll come back on the other side of this.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, Maverick News. Defending free speech, free speech. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, and yeah, we do have video here. This is video related to the Israeli F-35 jets, which fired several missiles at that building where those high-ranking Palestinian and Hezbollah leaders were meeting. They were able to target this possibly because they were expecting that after the pager attack, with no electronic devices deemed to be safe anymore, their communication lines were sort of severed. So as a result, they met in person. The result of that was this.
هيدي هون حد القائم. هاي هلا في غاز، انتبهوا.
So the fighting continues. And then Israel has reportedly captured the bodies of 2 Hezbollah members after targeting a cell planting explosives near the northern border. Now, this is older video, and it comes from Lebanese media. Share it with you here. Let me bring this up. And, I'm not sure I should even show this. Viewer discretion advised. I have not vetted this video yet. If it looks like it's going to get graphic, I'll pull out of it. Here we go. Yeah, so that's enough of that. And, as I say, everything is just getting worse Not better. Not better. And just to kind of shift away from that, but still in the vein of war. Do you remember that story? Were you aware of the story from about, was it a month ago now? The Chechen leader who claims Elon Musk sent him a Cybertruck as a gift. Well, this guy gets this truck, right? He says Elon Musk gave it to him. And what a weird story, I'll tell you. Says Elon Musk sent it to him. Elon Musk denies sending him the truck. Says he didn't do it. But anyway, this guy, he gets the truck, okay? This is Ramzan Kadyrov. He's a Chechen warlord. He obviously works on behalf of Putin and Russia, and he's been fighting, leading troops against Ukraine, and what did he do with his Cybertruck? He mounts a machine gun in the back. Here, I'll show you a photo. Here's a CNN website with the image of what this Cybertruck looks like and what he did with it. So, of course, what else would a warlord do with a Cybertruck but mount a machine gun in the back? And he says he knows now why they call it the Beast or the Cyber Beast. It's the Cybertruck. He says that it's worthy of doing battle with. Of course, I don't know where you charge up a Cybertruck in a war zone. Don't think they have too many smart chargers available over there. But it's pretty quick. Now, he says Western equipment copes perfectly well with the tasks assigned to them against their own Western Ukrainazis, he calls them. So, here, I'll show you what he's been doing with it. But then there's here, the punchline is coming. The punchline is yet to come. But here's the Cybertruck with the Chechen warlord's Cybertruck in action with the machine gun mounted in the back. I'm gonna pull down the music so we don't get a copyright strike on this, but he's released this. And remember, Elon Musk says he did not send this truck to this guy. But what did happen is today, this warlord is accusing Elon Musk of disabling the truck remotely. So he gave it to him. Now he's taking it away. Yeah. Of course, he's loyal to Vladimir Putin. And he wanted to send this truck to the front. And he repeated his claim that Musk had given him this thing earlier this week. Now he says Elon Musk has switched off the truck. He said what Elon Musk did was not nice. He gives expensive gifts from the heart and then remotely switches them off. 2 more Cybertrucks have been sent to the SVO Ukraine war zone. The warlord added by posting this video of 2 of these trucks, which I'm sharing with you here. And he says the remote shutdown did not affect these vehicles. They are operating normally without any failures. He posted on Telegram saying that, and he said, you couldn't ask for better advertising for the Cybertruck. So, kind of a strange story. Strange but true. You can't make the stuff up. What else do we have for you tonight? Celebrities in the news, that's coming up. I'm going to put the phone number up now. We've also got the leader of the NDP, again, coming out and saying that, he's going to support, that he's not going to support the Conservative confidence vote next week, which some were hoping would trigger an early election in Canada. We'll explain what's going on there when we come back on the other side of this.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
Couple of things before we get into more stories. I've been sharing some of the songs from this collection of freedom songs that we've put together here. And for a donation of $10 or more, I will send you the whole album, the whole Free Dog album. Here's the thumbnail for it. We'll put it over my face so you can see it. There's Cosmo. That's my pooch. That's our mascot. That's Free Dog. And he has the honor of really being the inspiration behind the title track, Free Dog. So I've played that for you a few times. I'm going to play it for you again now. I have another track, though, from the album that I'm going to run for you later in the broadcast, which is was inspired by my wife, actually. My wife and everything that went on during the lockdowns. Another freedom-oriented story that I'm sure all of you will be able to relate to in one way or another on a personal level for yourself. And I'm pretty excited about this. I think this is a lot of fun. And I'm going to run the Free Dog song for you again now. And again, you can support the program by donating at freedomreporters.com or at maverickdonations.com. Any donation of $10 or more, I will send you by email the 10 songs, the whole album, the Free Dog album, with all 10 freedom songs included. It comes as a, it's simple to download them. If you're not familiar with how to do it, it's super simple. You just provide your email address. I send them to you. When it arrives in your email, you just click on the link and then you can download them. You just click on the link and follow the instruction that it pops up on your screen and you download the songs. You can put them right on your computer. You can then transfer those MP3 files to any device you want and listen to them anywhere you would like to listen. It's as simple as that. Donate at maverickdonations.com or freedomreporters.com. We also have t-shirts for donations of $30 or more, polo shirts as well with embroidered logos for $45 or more donations. Send you one of those compliments of Maverick News. So without further ado, let me run the Free Dog song again, because I know that, I hope you like it. And then we'll get into more news on the other side.
never heard a bird. A heart full of love and a spirit so free. He's living his life wild and carefree. He's got the stars in his eyes, the wind in his fur, a tail that wags like it's never heard a blur. Cosmos on a journey, he's got no chains. He's running through fields, breaking all the lanes.
Okay, Mavericks, it's call-in time. Join the conversation. Call now, 1-519-401-1373. One 519-401-1373. Exercise your right to free speech. That's 1-519-401-1373. That's 1-519-401-1373. Maverick News. Call now. The world is watching and listening to you. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get that off the screen. I'm sorry, I forgot to take that down. Cosmo is such a ham. We'll get back to you later. Yeah, we will. Okay, back to Canada and Parliament Hill. Next week, Pierre Poilievre, leader of the Conservative Party, is expected to table a motion that would lead to a confidence vote in the House. A lot of people were hoping that this would lead to an early election. If the government loses a vote of confidence, it triggers an election. Pierre Poilievre trying to force that because the New Democratic Party has pulled its support for the Liberals, ending a coalition between the NDP and the Liberals, or at least that's what it appeared to be. That's what appeared to be the case this week. Though it looks almost like the deal is back together. It looks like maybe Jagmeet Singh was just playing to voters in a by-election in a riding in Winnipeg, out in Manitoba, just paying lip service to this, because after the election was over and the NDP won the riding, Pierre Poilievre called out Jagmeet Singh in the House, saying, "Why don't you support a motion of confidence, a confidence vote, and we'll bring the government down. We need an election." And Singh indicating that no, he's going to continue supporting the Liberals. Resulted in a heated exchange yesterday in the House between Poilievre. He got ejected. At one point, Jagmeet Singh comes out, stands there and says, "I'm right here, bro." And I have to say, Singh, it appears, has a bit of a temper. He was involved in a confrontation with, some say a heckler, some say a demonstrator, some say a journalist, I would say an activist. Two people sort of following him around, heckling, shouting at him. And hang on a second here. We got Johnny on the line. What do you want to talk about tonight, John?
Heckling, shouting. Oh, hi, Rick. Let me turn you down here. Hang on.
Yeah.
Beep it. Okay. Singh's not going anywhere. He wants his pension. You know that.
I don't buy it. Nope, don't think so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Don't think so. Well, we'll see.
You don't know Indian people. They're the cheapest people around.
I don't know. I know.
You ever deal with Indians? They always want 50% off.
Well. Okay, if you say so. I don't know about that.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
I don't know, because I think
he's gonna cut the teeth, medical, dental care. He's gonna cut this. He's no, he's not going anywhere. He's gonna keep ragging on that excuse. I know him like a book. So you can say what you want, but
I will. I'll say what I want. You know that.
He's not going to sign off on nothing.
I think it'll be, if he goes the distance to next October, just so he can get his pension, so that he puts in enough time, because of course we have to have an election by next October. If he puts in all that time, I think he'll carry that as a liability into the next election, not just for himself, but for his entire party. So I don't think he's. I think he's safe in his riding anyway, so I don't think he'll want to do that. I think he'll go early.
He's got kids. He's got a wife. He likes.
He's got a Rolex.
Watches,
he's got a Rolex. He's got a wife, kids, and a Rolex.
Cars,
he's got fancy cars too. Yeah.
You know, you're not going to get that anywhere else but the government. Anyways,
we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Can't predict it. Can't predict if you. Well, you could try, but it's just it's entertainment, right? It's like fortune telling. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
We're going to have to stick it out till October next year. That's all. No, that's about it. He'll come by. He'll come. But you know what's going to happen? I think I sent you a video on that.
Well, I've got Singh actually queued up. I wanted to run this clip of him.
Okay.
So let's run the video, and then people will see what he had to say today.
I have an opening comment, and then I'll look forward to your questions. New Democrats came to Ottawa to get stuff done, to work for people, to fight for people, not to play Pierre Poilievre's conservative games. So we will not be supporting Pierre Poilievre's motion. His plan is to not only cut pharmacare, he wants to cut healthcare. He wants to cut pensions. He wants to cut dental care. Our plan is to stop him and then to strengthen our healthcare system, strengthen pensions, make sure that dental care is there for everyone who needs it. The decision moving forward is far too important for Canadians and for the middle class. And so that's why we're not going to let Pierre Poilievre tell us what to do. We're not going to listen to someone who wants to cut the things that people need. Right now, Canadians need relief, not more cuts. We've got people's back. I'm going to do that in French, and then I look forward to your questions.
Okay. I don't think we need to listen to the whole thing. So that's always the game with people on the left, though. They get these socialist, social programs in place, and then they never want to let anything go. You can never cut anything, you can never trim anything. Everything you have to always have it. So once you've got it, it's really difficult for a government to make any cuts to the budget, because you get criticized for it, just like this. And then it's like a negative, right, for the campaign. What are your views on that? Is that going to hurt Poilievre? Is that a tender point for the Conservatives heading into the election, whenever it happens?
Well, they're trying to pin it that way, right? That's what these guys are all working together, him and Trudeau. Just like that guy that just stepped down, ministry guy, independent. They're just stacking the cabinet. That's all he's doing. So, as soon as if Trudeau gets back in, he's back. He's got a job again, It's just, it's all the games they're playing, But I don't know. I don't know what to do. The only way to get an early election is a massive protest, maybe. But people don't care. Everybody I know, they don't care. About an election. A lot of them don't even vote.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was a poll out earlier this week that says the majority of Canadians don't want an election right now. I don't believe that. I think people would welcome an election. What do you think? Is the poll accurate?
I think so. Because from what I'm hearing from everybody, they don't care. They don't care about an election. They're just looking at everything is going to be the same, you know. You're going to be paying more taxes, more regulations, more laws.
So maybe, you know, we sit here night after night. I sit in this chair. You guys sit there and watch, especially the regulars, right? The regular Maverick family. And we maybe have a little bit of a skewed perspective on things. Maybe things are not as, maybe the rest of the country isn't as focused on negative things as we are over here. Because even today with the 1 million March for Children, the crowd was like a tiny fraction of what they had out on the streets last week.
That's exactly what I was going to say, but I didn't want to say it.
Yeah. Well, why didn't you want to?
I like
Why
that
didn't you
guy.
want to?
He's a good guy.
Who, Jeff? You mean? Jeff Evely? You mean?
Yeah.
He's a nice
He's
guy.
on your show there. He's a good dude, you
He
know.
is a good guy.
But I don't know. He advertised it enough, or I don't know.
Yeah, well, he's just one of the organizers, right? But I just think that there is fatigue and protest fatigue. There's also a degree of apathy that has come back. People, I think, are beginning to, you know, push the memories of the pandemic and the lockdowns out of their minds. And I think even the issue of drag queen story time and transgender issues, that kind of went through a cycle. And now people are getting tired of that. You know, people are fickle, especially when it comes to issues.
You know, see the article in the paper yesterday? I was reading it. That was a weird one.
Which article?
The Toronto, the Catholic school board, they took all the kids to a protest.
I forgot about that. I meant to mention it. Yes.
What the protest was? It was a Palestinian protest.
Yeah. And actually, it was in indigenous rights as well, right? So that's what it was. Yeah, that's what the issue was. Indigenous rights. Grassy Narrows.
People
It was
don't
the
care.
That's
my point.
It was the Grassy Narrows issue. That I recall. That's what it was. And so yeah, the teachers take these kids to this protest. The parents were told it was so the kids could learn about the issue, but then they made the kids protest and participate in the protest. I think that's highly, highly inappropriate. What do you think?
I don't know. It to me, the whole world's screwed up anyways.
But I mean, but you can't send kids. You can't have teachers taking kids out to join a protest.
I don't think that was the right thing to do myself.
No, that's not the place for it. That's not
being sneaky like that too. Is not the right thing, you know.
Totally wrong. I think those
they were being sneaky. I don't like sneaky people.
I know, and those teachers, as far as I'm concerned, they should be reprimanded.
Oh yeah, but that's not gonna happen to them.
Probably not, because it was the right kind of protest, right?
I don't see protests about that, you know.
Imagine if they had taken them to participate in a freedom protest. Oh, could you imagine what would happen? They'd go to jail or something, right? Like, that's what would happen that way. Like, that's it, off to the gulag for you teachers, you freedom teachers. Off to the gulag with you.
Yeah.
I'm using the wrong accent.
Like this thing today, and that guy with that's a good. Bring all the kids there.
Yeah, just that's right.
Hey,
well, you could at least you could at least let the kids pick. At least if they went to the protest today, they could pick one side or the other and say, "Okay, kids, pick your side," and then everybody come back here in half an hour, right? Because you could join the the Million March for Children, or you could join the counter protest.
That'd be interesting to see what the kids would go.
Oh man! What did you think?
I know where I would go.
Man!
You know,
strange times.
I got nothing against gay people. I got nothing against Jews. I got nothing against blacks, Palestinians, Asians, whatever. But you know, the problem is, why force it down someone's throat? That's where I have a problem. You know, just keep it to yourself. It's like religion, right? Like, I got a problem with religion. It's not good to talk about it. Just keep it to yourself, you know? You know, because money, politics, it's all, you know, it all starts wars and fights. And
I will say, I mean, I don't think it's appropriate for drag queans to be in schools.
No, I don't. That's what I mean. You know,
especially elementary school. I don't understand the logic myself, because as far as I'm concerned, that's a kind of an adult entertainment thing. It's not appropriate for children, and it's just I think it's an inappropriate place.
You know where that started, eh?
No, I don't.
Wynn. Remember Wynn?
Kathleen Wynne, the Premier of Ontario?
She was a dyke, yeah.
You mean?
Started with her. And then all of a sudden they had posters in all the classrooms with, you know, men doing whatever, books. And that McLevin, he got his hands wrist slapped for
well, I mean, I know books. I know that in Ontario, you know, sort of started around the time when she was premier and we had her Liberal government in place, but it's much wider than that. You have these same things happening in the U.S.
I never heard of it before that.
No, but it's just the timing was there, and but it was much wider than that. Not just in Ontario, it's all over the place in Canada and the U.S., especially.
And the Liberals, they're the ones pushing it. You know, the Liberals.
Yeah, the Progressives, and the NDP.
That's why I vote conservative. You know, as much as I hate Trump, I'm still going to vote conservative because it's like Ford. I don't like Ford anymore, but I'll vote for Ford
Ontario
again.
Premier, yeah.
See what he did today? Oh, he says we got a problem in the city with traffic, right? No more bike lanes, because that's, you know, contribute to the traffic problem. So he's coming straight out. No more bike lanes right now. You know,
yes,
put bike lanes, put them in the park.
Well, the thing about those bike lanes is I rarely ever see them used.
Well,
I mean, in Toronto maybe, but you know, around here, there are bike lanes on the roads, just like the main street just by me here. I never see anyone riding a bike down that lane. I don't mind it being there. It doesn't really hurt me. But except, you know, there's a historic street not far from here where they want to chop down all these like 150, 200, 250-year-old trees, however old they are. They're huge. They want to chop them all down to put in to move the sidewalks and put in bike lanes, and and I'm like, what are you doing?
Why
like,
it's beautiful,
and it's just they're beautiful trees. The street is gorgeous, and it's like just kind of deface
everything. I ride my bike on the sidewalk all the time, Rick.
Yeah.
I don't even ride it on the road. Even on the side streets.
I can see you now. Lady, get that stroller out of my way! I'm coming through.
I got a bell on the bike, you know.
Oh man!
Bell, you know, you're coming. That's all.
I can see it now. Here comes Johnny.
No. But I don't even use the bike lane. I stay on the sidewalk.
Yeah, sidewalk. You're riding your bike on the sidewalk. Riding your bicycle on the sidewalk is illegal. You are aware, right? You're not supposed to ride your bike on the sidewalk.
I don't care. I got no helmet. I'm riding it on the sidewalk.
You're You're such a rebel.
I just do it because I don't.
You just do it to get the liberals upset. That's what you. That's why you do it. Look at me. I'm riding on the sidewalk. What are you gonna do about it?
You have one lane now. A busy street. You got one goddamn lane. It's like bumper to bumper. And this is what Ford's saying. No more bike lanes. That's it. Chow goes. She's crazy. She's
The mayor of Toronto, Olivia Chow. Yeah.
Yeah, she's crazy. She's flipping out on the guy because she rides her bike everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she likes bike lanes. And see who her assistant mayor is now that she's choosing? Huh? A Muslim.
Oh. Hey, you've seen the bicycle that Jagmeet Singh of the NDP rides, right?
I don't know.
He has like a tricycle. A tricycle? Here, I'll show you. I'll show you his bike. And then I found out something. Actually, his bicycle, his tricycle, I think it might actually be unsafe. Here, I'm going to show you why. I'll show you. This is me doing this is investigative journalism, man.
Yeah, this should be a
okay, here. I'm going to show you his bike here. Hang on. I've got it. This is again, this is compliments of Chris Dacey and his video that he shot today. He was actually confronted by a mother of a young woman who, she says, she's the mother of a young woman who passed away because of the thingy in the arm. So says the mom. And she wanted to talk to Jagmeet Singh about it. Anyway, here's his, that's another story though. And here's his tricycle. That's not it there. This guy's got another bike.
There he is there, yeah.
He's fighting with Right Blend there.
Has he got trainer wheels on it?
No, you'll see. And if I can see the name on it again, there's a name on the side of Jagmeet Singh's tricycle. And there it is. There's his tricycle. Okay? See?
I'm behind here.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, so he's got that big card on the front. So,
okay.
So I there was a name on the side of it. Oh, what's the name? Babu Bikes or something. Anyway, I looked them up, and Babbo, the cargo bike for everyone. And so I went to their website, and what did I find here? I found out that they're recalling these things because they have safety issues. Here, I'll show you. So Jagmeet Singh, I don't know if this is the model that's being recalled. Is it still up on the website? So Jagmeet Singh's bike might be actually a traffic hazard.
Look at that. He doesn't even have proper shoes. Riding a bike like that with a suit on. Yeah, okay. That's just a PR. That's a PR thing. It's probably not even his.
No, it's his. He rides it everywhere. I've seen him riding it like
with a suit and those.
Yeah, there's a. Yeah, there's a recall on these things. Anyway, I'm sorry. I guess it's down right now. Anyway, I found the message, but they're recalling a bunch of some of the models of those bikes, I guess. So I'm like, Jagmeet, you might be a traffic hazard. I don't know what's going on with your Babbo bike or whatever it's called. But Babbo.
He's not going anywhere. He's gonna hang in there till he gets that pension. We all know that. So we're gonna have to stick it out, Rick, and that's about it.
Yeah, see, I told you. Here, I found it. So Jagmeet Singh's riding a bike that's potentially a hazard.
Unsafe, right?
I don't want to make too much of it. This is tongue-in-cheek, okay? But Babbo prepares recall in the United Kingdom for the City E, Mini, and Mini E cargo bike models. So I don't know. I've never seen them before. Wasn't aware until I saw him riding around on his.
How much is that bike worth? Does it tell you?
I don't know. See in there, Babo Pro Trike XL. I told you it's a tricycle. It's a trike, right? Tricycle. They call them a trike because it makes it sound tougher, but they're a tricycle. How much are they worth? What do they cost? I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Don't know what they cost. But he's got one.
Yeah.
I got to get me one too. Be better for me with my dog when I go tooling around. I take him on my old antique 10-speed. Jagmeet Singh is way cooler than me because I've just got this old beat up bike that I've had since I was 14 years old. I take my dog along with me sometimes, right? And he runs.
Dover. When I was in Port Dover last week,
yeah,
people were riding motorcycles with leather bags in the front.
Yep.
And they had their dogs in there. All he sees his dog, two paws hanging out,
yeah,
his head, his ears blowing. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was all the Indian motorcyclists. All they had was their turbans on, no helmets. Yeah, it's I don't know. It was funny though, especially the dogs. I like the dogs in the front there, their ears flapping and they're just like. Does your dog stick his head out the window and you take him for a car ride too, or what?
I'm afraid to let him stick his head out the window, so I don't keep the window down that far. I'm afraid I have to have him tied in the back now because he's so hyper, right? That if
he's still hyper, right?
Oh, he is in the car. He is, yeah. Hasn't calmed down that way. Sometimes he's so well behaved, and other times he gets really freaky deaky. Just depends. He's just full of energy is what it is, right? He's got so much energy, he doesn't know what to do with it. But anyway, I don't mean to drag on about Cosmo. I just love my dog, so I can't stop talking about him.
I'm going to the reserve tomorrow, but every time I go to Manitoulin Island, you see all dogs in packs walking on. They're on the street. I'm driving, and there's like 6 dogs in the middle of the street there, you know? They're everywhere there, dogs, eh? They got, that's a free dog.
Yeah, well, it was funny because I had somebody phone me after I played the Free Dog song, and this friend says, "Did your dog run away?" Like, he's free, like he's running through fields, like seriously, like they thought the song was about Cosmo running away. I'm like, no, it's just a song. It's just a song.
You should patent it, and maybe they'll put it in the next dog movie coming out.
Well, it's an original tune, man. It's copyrighted. Yeah, it's copyright protected. But for a donation of $10 or more, I'll send you the whole album. You only need the one song, but I'll sell you all 10 for $10.
Oh, you get more than that if they play it in a commercial. Like, imagine put that song in a commercial with dog food or something.
Yeah.
You got to think, Rick. You know, you can make a killing.
Oh, well.
You know?
I'm just really grateful. I've had a couple of people send in donations for $10 or more, and I got a donation of $20 last night.
You put it on a dog commercial, and then you put for purchase the album and the song and the album. There, this is the site. Blah blah blah. Man, you big. But anyways,
what movie are we running tonight? I'm going to give you a clue. The star is really scary looking.
Dracula?
Nope. Good guess. Nope.
Wolfman?
Nope.
Maybe Haitian cannibal eaters.
Dude, don't talk about that because my Cosmo's going to get worried. Next thing you know, we're going to be talking about the pet eating thing again.
I got nothing against Asian people.
It's just,
They're-
it's so weird.
It's just funny what Trump started. That's all Trump's fault. They're eating the dogs.
Well, it's in fairness.
It's so comical.
In fairness, it started before Trump mentioned it in the debate. I just don't think it was. I mean, I don't think it was wise for him to make reference to it in the debate.
I think I heard it more than but people did get a good laugh out of it. All sides.
Yeah, that's true.
All sides get a good laugh, But anyways,
anyway, well, you know what? I'll let you go, and that's a good segue, and a good excuse for me to run this video. Thank you, John, for calling in tonight. It's been fun.
Okay.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats.
I am the president. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. I am the president. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
I am the president. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. I am the president. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
And this is what's happening in our country. They're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
I am the president. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. I am the president. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
He's a fighter. He's a survivor. President Trump, defiant, strong. He is determined to make America great again. Pay tribute to the 45th President of the United States with this collectible t-shirt from the Maverick News Memorable Moments collection. Even a would-be assassin's bullet could not stop him. Instead, he emerged with his fist in the air ready to fight. For freedom. Get your Trump Fighting for Freedom t-shirt with any donation of $30 or more to Maverick News. There are 2 iconic artistic designs to choose from. But there is only one way to get these. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Support free speech. Free media. Support Maverick News. Call 1-866-248-1490 or order online at supergeeks.tv.
We're back, and live on the line with us right now is the one, the only Dragon from Montreal. Are you there, sir?
Well, hello, lovely brothers and sisters from Maverick.
Hey, Dragon, can I call you right back? I'm going to take this other call. Well, no, you go ahead. That's all right. I'll put this one in the queue. It's all right. I think I know who it was, but that's okay. You go ahead.
Well, I don't know if you know, but I'm kind of feeling sorry for my friend of the U.S. because in California there's a lot of things that is going on. There's part of the county of Ventura who has been evacuated as a mandatory evacuation call because of methane. That has been spreading around after probably the earthquake that happened on the 16th. So it's kind of harsh. They have like a lot of things going on all at the same time. I feel sad for them.
Yeah, how many people have been evacuated? Do you know what the numbers are?
About 2,300, if I'm not mistaken, from the report that I've seen. So, yeah.
I see. Yeah, I was aware of that, so I'm glad you mentioned it tonight. And that's in, yeah, Ventura. And let me just see. Because there's a possible gas leak out there.
Yeah, actually, the company, it was one of the companies out there. It's the so-called gas company. One of their pipe has ruptured, and people could smell actually rotten egg, which is a good sign of methane gas leak. So,
yeah, methane gas.
To
detected in an underground sewer pipeline.
Emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of sad. I feel bad for them. So if there's some people from California listening to us, well, Dragon got all his mind and hearts with you guys. So I hope you all guys doing great.
Okay. All right, sir. I want to ask you, how do you feel about celebrities endorsing political candidates?
Well,
like say Taylor, like Taylor Swift, for instance.
Well, for example, Taylor Swift, she got like 1 million of people following her. So surely that some people will go toward probably one, well, her choice as political view, right? So this is probably a kind of how you would put that, manipulating the mind of people in a way. So I wouldn't like to see someone from like Taylor Swift advocating for one political aspect or the other, or one side or the other, because yeah, it's kind of manipulation, right? Endorsing is a manipulation type of way.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, here's, okay, I'm going to run a little clip here. This is Kamala Harris responding or reacting to Taylor Swift's endorsement. And this is when she was, who was she doing this interview with? This was for, oh, I can't remember. Anyway, she was doing this interview with, was it Vice? I don't think it was Vice. It was another media outlet. But anyway, let me run this.
Kamala Harris, Taylor Swift. I am very proud to have the support of Taylor Swift. She's an incredible artist. I really respect the courage that she has had in her career to stand up for what she believes is right. But we were on different sides of the Super Bowl last year. I am a 49ers fan, but who's mad at anyone for being loyal to their team, right? Kamala Harris, Taylor Swift.
So
yeah, this is basically set. No, look, this is set. Don't tell me that it's not like a circus. Oh, you endorsing me, and now I'm going on television and going like, oh, I'm so glad that you. Oh man, it's setting. It's just some kind of setting to me.
Well, this is an ad that the Lincoln Project has put out. The Lincoln Project is really sort of supposed to be Republicans, conservatives who don't like Trump, and they've really thrown their support behind the Democrats, or they're sort of former Republicans, I guess. Anyway, they've been very active in campaigning against Trump for years now. And this is an ad making reference to celebrities and Trump. So I wanted to touch on this issue tonight. So I'm glad you called in so we could discuss it. Here's
Taylor Swift isn't the first successful woman Donald Trump has attacked. She's just the most recent.
I'd look her right in that fat, ugly face of hers. I'd say, Rosie, you're fired.
Trump has a problem with women. Disrespectful.
Must be a pretty picture you drop into.
Insulting.
Ivana does exactly as I tell her to do.
Even violence.
Ivana Trump once used the term rape to describe a sexual encounter with Trump.
It's ugly.
I'm not thinking, Mr.
That's
President.
okay. I know you're not thinking. You never do.
I'm sorry?
It's cruel.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah.
And one thing he's proven is that he'll never change.
I could do this all day long.
You going up the escalator?
I'm going to be dating her in 10 years.
Would you want your son to treat women like Trump does?
Hey, when you're a star, you can do anything. Grab him by the
Is this how you would want a man to treat your daughter?
Blood coming out of her, wherever.
You know the answer. You know the truth. He says he hates Taylor.
I was not a Taylor Swift fan.
But the truth is, he hates all of us.
Were you able to watch that? Could you hear it?
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Well, it's frustrating because I see that as, it's some ways to gain some point with the artful use of speech, right? I mean, trying to make look the guy as an evil person, as a
sexist
person.
As a sexist. Yeah, they're trying to make him out to be a womanizing, sexist heel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Effective?
And I mean, it's
Or no?
just one. It's one way to win.
Yeah. The irony in all of this, I think, is that Trump himself is a celebrity. Even you think about it, right? Absolutely, a manufactured political figure, a public figure, star of The Apprentice, almost like he's a manufactured candidate in a way. And, politics involves a lot of, celebrities are injected into the mix all the time now. And it's about branding, it's about marketing, it's about emotion, not so much about issues. It's about style. What's the look? What's it all about? And here's an example. This is Hulk Hogan. Remember Hulk Hogan making his appearance at the Republican National Convention? Here, I'll run this clip to refresh people's minds.
When they took a shot at my hero, and they tried to kill the next President of the United States, enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again.
I think that stuff's effective. It's entertainment.
Well, it is, but I mean, I will say, sure, what I've said about what the Democrats doing is basically stage, right? The Taylor Swift things to what you've just shown with the misogynistic video, it's a stage in a way. But Trump is also one stage man. He's always been a one-man show, if you will. So, yeah, I mean, it's show for show kind of. It's becoming more of a...
The question is, I think, does it reduce the political process to something that just turns it into a popularity contest rather than, having voters go to the polls informed, focused on issues? Is it a good thing, a bad thing?
It's not a good thing, because you're totally right. I mean, it's turning into a kind of a Kardashian show on national TV. I mean, we're not here to listen to girls blabbering about their nails breaking over whatever what. It's not a, how you call that, television show. It's supposed to be respectful. It's supposed to be serious. It's not a entertainment. So yeah, I mean, it's turning into entertainment today. It's not good.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be serious.
It's when I talk about politics and the election, we've also seen, during the lockdowns, we saw celebrities rolled out and recruited to serenade us You know, they literally were online playing music to us during the early parts of the lockdowns, sending out messages. We see celebrities used for all kinds of messaging by government. And just within the last week, we've seen Michael Douglas, the movie actor, head over to Ukraine, where he made an appearance on Ukrainian television. Here, I'm going to run a little clip of Michael Douglas on Ukrainian TV talking about what's going on with the Ukraine-Russia war.
And I think that's encouraged us to continue to expand our arsenal to Ukraine and more stronger, longer missiles.
Do you think that now more and more Americans understand that Ukraine...
Oh, hang on a second here. Hang on, I need to recue this. Hang on. Here we go. Here we go.
Effort to come all the way to Kyiv to bomb a children's hospital. And I think it inspired, certainly it inspired us in America to realize the level of deprivation that the enemy you were fighting with.
But even before traveling to Ukraine, you never doubted supporting Ukraine. In the very first days of the invasion, you went to the SAG Awards, I guess, where you had this Ukrainian handkerchief and you voiced your opinion to support Ukraine. How did you come up with that decision at that point in time?
Well, I'm a bit of a news junkie. I read the newspapers all the time. I followed the preamble to the war starting as the troops lined up. And I just can never remember a situation that was so black and white. I've seen conflicts and wars before where there's debate about territory. This was such a clean provocation and was so evil and so hostile that there was no question, as it was for many of us and many of us in NATO. And yes, I think in hindsight, I wish we, the U.S., which sort of is the leader of this NATO movement in terms of a lot of the weapons in the other countries are U.S. weapons, and so that needs U.S. approval. I really wish that we had probably been much more aggressive. I spoke with President Zelensky today about that issue, and it's disappointing to me that it took us so long to gain the momentum. And I think as we speak now, my fingers are crossed that reading the news in the U.S. that although our governments all want to give Ukraine these long-range missiles and more, it's been presidency, the executive office has held off, but I think now it looks like it's going to happen. We'll make it better.
Yeah, you said in your answer that everything to you seemed black and white.
It was a lengthy interview, Michael Douglas going over there to Ukraine. How do you feel about celebrities lending their voice to issues surrounding, like all issues really, and including wars? Dragon?
Well, they should be careful of what they say because, well, as celebrities, I think that their word have more impact than people like public speaker like you and me. They don't have, they have more weight, I think, than anybody else in the court of speech, if you will, and probably can advocate for something that, you know, our government sometimes would agree with it and go forward with what people like those celebrities would say. Okay. So it's kind of, it's a razor's edge kind of situation. Okay. And about what you said earlier, you have not to forget the influencers also who's paid to tell you who to vote for.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for calling in tonight. As always, a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. And if I can, just one little quote for everyone, as I like quotes. Mm-hmm. Don't let anyone tell you what to do because, well, you're the only one who can stop yourself doing it. So
Okay.
Keep doing it, guys.
All right. Other call coming in. Thank you, Dragon. Gotta go. Okay. Okay, hang on just a second here. We'll be right back on the other side with our next caller.
By the way, I love that little song.
Thank you.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, Kitty's on the line with us live. What's on?
Hello, Rick. Hey, Maverick family. How is everybody this fine evening?
Well, I'm doing okay. I think generally speaking, we're all okay here. How are you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. I'm sober, but I hope to fix that, especially after what I read.
What'd you read?
Well, here's the thing. Just to make it really short, what Trudeau's been doing to us, I think it's worn everybody down to a frazzle, to the point where all we can focus on is like our families, our jobs, our bills, and it's like we're on this hamster wheel.
Yeah.
And it's like nothing sinks in, and the government has been dividing and distracting all over the place. Now, here's a thought. While I'm talking, if you can look up Bill C-293.
I'm familiar with it, yeah.
Yep. Okay. We got that bill. We have Bill C-63. Now, Singh did the distraction of, oh, I ripped up the agreement. I swear if he said that one more time, I was going to throw my phone at him.
Okay, now before we move on, because you're just throwing these bill numbers out, what is Bill C-293?
Okay, well, I made some notes, and then I went online. It's very difficult to get. I don't know if there's something keeping us from getting information, but I used a, what do you call a VPN?
Yeah.
I was able to make some notes on it, and then I was getting frustrated because I couldn't
Do you
get enough.
do you want me to explain it to people?
Well, I'll tell you what my concern is. Between that bill and C-63, we won't be able to Twitch without permission. And please do explain. Yeah, you could probably explain it better than me.
So Bill C-293 is the Pandemic Prevention and Preparedness Act. It represents a legislative initiative which is aimed at enhancing the country's readiness for and response to potential pandemics. So you know where that's going, right? Because we just went through this, and this is what it's really about. So according to what's written, the bill seeks to implement strategies for preventing disease outbreaks that could lead to pandemics. It focuses on various aspects, including even environmental changes, wildlife trade, global health equity, right? So you see where this language is coming from. This is all rooted in the United Nations. It addresses changes in and use that could increase pandemic risks, such as even deforestation, and aims to manage the commercial wildlife trade, potentially including the phase out of live animal markets due to their association with disease transmission. So if this bill passes, and it is, as I understand it, it's already passed in the House. It's now before the Senate. It's gone through the first reading, second reading. It's now ready for final reading and approval in the Senate, which is where it goes for final approval and then goes for royal assent to become legislation. So we're very, very close. Now, if there's an early election and this hasn't passed yet, then that bill would die. And then they'd have to start all over again. But because it's so close to passing, it seems highly unlikely to me that that bill will, it seems very likely to me, I should say, that it's going to pass. Because it's just a matter of time. I don't know what the date is. I don't even know if there is a specific date set yet for the Senate to give it final reading and approve it finally. And then, I mean, royal assent is then just a rubber stamp, essentially, right? Because the crown never really opposes something that makes it to that point in the process. There's an emphasis on supporting global health equity, enhancing public health capacities worldwide, and ensuring equitable access to health solutions like vaccines. So you see, the way this bill is written, it isn't just about vaccines. It isn't just about even, really just about viruses that might pop up. It's about preventing viruses or pandemics in the future and trying to mitigate the risks or the possibility of a pandemic through all of the progressive political causes that are out there, right? Climate change. Don't eat so much meat. It could affect ultimately, we have a housing shortage. They don't want any trees chopped down. We need more trees. It gets into even areas of economics, right? It'll affect micro and macroeconomic policy nationally and even internationally. So the bill has undergone, as I say, several readings. It was passed in the House. It was moved to the Senate. And it's just so broad in its scope that I think it's extremely dangerous. This is where our government has gone. This is why Trudeau's got to go, because this just blows my mind. When I'm reading this bill, it isn't just about health. It's using concerns about public health and using the legislation to affect all kinds of other changes, to control other aspects of society, to implement what I would say is a very authoritarian, collectivist, even communist or communo-fascistic set of policies and programs to implement all of that. It's obviously part of a much broader political agenda. That's what Bill C-293 is about in a nutshell. Of course, it's a lot of details in there. I'm not reading the whole thing to you. I'm just giving you what I know about it off the top of my head on the fly here as you call in. Didn't know you were going to call in and talk about this tonight, but it is, I would say, one of the most important, maybe the most important issue facing Canada right now. And it also ties into Justin Trudeau's assertion that Canada is the world's first post-national state, or first post-nation state, which was a signal to the world, and especially the United Nations, that he has been ready and has been giving up large chunks of our sovereignty to international influence and even rule, handing over our sovereignty in many ways to the World Health Organization, the United Nations, not the WEF, because the WEF is just a think tank. People don't understand what that is, but certainly to the UN and to the World Health Organization, which is an extension of the UN. That's where your one world government is, folks. And Canada also bending the knee to even the International Criminal Court, the International Court of Justice. It's something that 99.99999% of Canadians are not even aware of. And this is the gravity of it. This is how serious it is. And yet people are not talking about it. And the politicians from all parties are not even talking about it, not even acknowledging it. And yet it is, I would say, the most important thing certainly one of the most important, maybe not the most, yeah, it's the most important thing facing us right now, especially after what we went through during the pandemic. But this is much broader than that. This will give the government unprecedented levels of power and justification for implementing all kinds of collectivist, socialist
It's awful.
policies. Yeah.
It
Social
is,
policies
the
and
thing is-
economic policies. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, I'm glad you explained that because when I was doing some reading, I tripped across a little ditty which I will read to you. Quote, once enacted, CE 293 imposes mandatory medical treatments, follow me, explicitly controls your personal autonomy, affecting your freedom of movement and privacy,
Good, yeah.
can expropriate farms and other property, and relocate rural and urban dwellers.
Now,
for
to be clear, though, when they talk about expropriation in Canada does come with compensation. All right.
Yes.
All right. So they will pay a fair market value for farmland if they expropriate it from an owner. But there are all kinds of issues that surround that as well. But I don't want people to be left with a misconception about how the government's just going to come along and take it from people. They will compensate, but other issues surrounding that. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's the premise. What worries me, as it is, they can anyway. But I call me old-fashioned, but I'm like, when you buy property, a house, a cottage, a farm, it's yours.
Yes.
I don't like, I guess apparently they're going to make it easier to go up to people, and they're making it easier by way of they don't need the excuse of, oh, we're going to build a highway anymore.
Yeah, it just gives them other reasons to potentially expropriate land, and when the government wants to do it, they just do it. I've seen them. I saw the Canadian Food Inspection Agency come through here when we had the emerald ash borer outbreak. They came through here and they had a program to cut down every ash tree from Lake St. Clair to Lake Erie to create what they called a fire break, right? It was a massive program, and I covered that as a journalist for television. I thought this is the stupidest program ever. They spent like $1 billion, I don't know how many millions, on this, and I thought this is never going to work. And they were just going onto people's properties and chopping down all their ash trees, no matter where they were, all the farmland, forested areas, private property, rural areas, urban areas, everywhere. Just every ash tree for a whole swath across this part of the province, they just took them all down. I thought, this is ridiculous, even like including healthy ash trees. I'll tell you this, you know what? They cut all those things down. A lot of property owners protested. They didn't want the trees cut down. Government didn't give a damn, did it anyway, chopped them all down. And it was like 2 weeks after the program ended, after they finished chopping down every ash tree in sight, the emerald ash borer was reported on the other side of the fire break up in central Ontario. It had been transported up there. You've got, it's an insect. You're not going to stop that by chopping down trees in a swath like that. No, it was ridiculous. Stupid
See, the reason
program,
why I
stupid
brought this
government.
up was because between this bill and Bill C-63,
Yeah.
I was trying to think outside the box. Why are they so definite on no election? And Trudeau's been looking really cocky, and I thought there's got to be something that I'm missing here. And then I remembered this bill, and I hadn't looked at it too much. And then I did some reading, and then it was like, oh my God, we're in a hoop of trouble now.
Yeah, and so people know Bill C-63 is the Online Harms Act, which represents a significant legislative move towards regulating online content with the aim of enhancing, according to the government, safety and combating harmful content, particularly targeting children, which I can totally understand. And I'm thinking maybe not such a bad idea, with that and vulnerable groups. But what it really comes down to is censorship. Now, I think there has to be a balance there, and there has to be a way to protect children, because right now I have to say, I do think that it's too much like the Wild West online, particularly when it comes to children, because children have such easy access to adult content that I don't think it is appropriate. You can go on X and look at triple X stuff. I wasn't even aware of that until, what was it, about a year ago, I guess. I didn't know they had porn on Twitter. I don't think that's appropriate. But even porn sites, I don't think, oh yeah, I'm 18, and then they, click. Anybody, a kid can do that. So I don't know. It's a very difficult thing. But that's what the Online Harms Act is. But it goes way beyond that because it also affects hate speech, right? Potentially even thought crimes because of its reach. So it's overbearing again. It's government overreach in the making.
See, I think this is why Singh did what he did. He wanted to win that riding. Yeah. So he did the dramatic, I'm going to rip up the agreement. Then, of course, as soon as he won the riding, it was like, oh, well, I'm going to go against Poilievre's motion. Now, I understand why Poilievre is doing this. But the thing is, with these two bills, Trudeau is not going to let go of this opportunity. And the only word that comes to my brain when I look at both of these bills put together, when you put both of them together, the only word that applies is control. It's not helping. It's simply to control us all. I do believe he got really pissed off when a lot of people, trying to speak carefully here, how shall we say, asserted our beliefs and made our own choice, right? We decided, no, you know what, that's whatever reason, that's not good for me. And we made our own choices not to, and he didn't like that.
Right.
So now with Bill C-293, when I read those three words, mandatory medical treatments, and I'm like, excuse me? And then I put both the bills together, and I'm thinking, holy crap, like we've been so distracted with Trudeau and Singh and this and that, and they're so good at that.
Well, it is extreme. It's extreme authoritarianism through legislation. I would say it's unconstitutional. The problem is, and I was just talking to a friend today about Section 33 in the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, part of the Constitution, with the notwithstanding clause, and Pierre Poilievre says that he's fully prepared to use it. He's talking about using it in the context of bringing in new legislative changes to keep dangerous offenders, like murderers, in prison much longer. So, I mean, I can't really blame him for that, but I'm not in favor of these politicians who just want to start using Section 33, the notwithstanding clause, to just push through all kinds of unconstitutional legislation or laws that really do violate our rights. Section 33 gives them the right to violate our rights. That section should be coming out of the Constitution. That really is the issue for me.
Yes, I agree.
It's those provisions in the Constitution and the Charter that, in my view, we should be concentrating on. I've been meaning to talk about this in depth, actually, for weeks, but we just can't get to some of this stuff because there's so much news every day. But that's what we need to be focused on, putting pressure on politicians to make constitutional changes to take away that power from politicians. Because those pieces of legislation, both of them, in my view, not constitutional, but they can be constitutional if the notwithstanding clause is used. You can't tell me that it's constitutional to restrict people's movement. It's not. It wasn't constitutional when it was when the lockdowns were implemented, but that was done at the provincial level. But they used those other provisions in the Constitution and the Charter in order to do an end run around our constitutional rights. Those provisions need to come out. And I'll say this too, those provisions were put in there largely to protect things like culture and language, especially for Quebec, which was whining like a crying little baby all during the constitutional process. So a lot of the blame can be pointed right up there at, the politicians of that day from Quebec who were pushing for those provisions to be included because they were so afraid of losing their culture. right? They never signed on to the Constitution. They didn't endorse it in 1982. So, but these are the issues we're facing now, and the government is using the notwithstanding clause for a variety of things. Doug Ford used it, or almost used it, if I recall correctly, in the last election. Even announced he was going to use. What was that for? That was.
I can't remember now, but I do remember that.
Yeah, it was. I don't remember. It wasn't about bike lanes or whatever, but in any event, I mean, they just they're not taking it seriously enough. That's supposed to be an act of last resort by government in order to do something that's extremely important. But no, not so much anymore. Now, the federal government hasn't used it, but the provinces have. And Poilievre says he's prepared to use it for changes to keep prisoners, dangerous offenders, in prison longer. How will it play out with these other pieces of legislation? I don't know. Constitutional challenges for sure coming in courts, I think, against those down the road, but I don't know. Once they get that stuff in place, what are we going to do? I don't know.
Yeah, and actually, I'm thinking it's in a week or two that Bill C-293 will be passed.
Very likely. I don't think it's far off, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's far, but those are the things I'm worried about, because these are going to have repercussions on our kids, on our grandkids, on us.
Yeah, I mean, those laws could be rescinded by a future government. If, passed now, Poilievre could come in and just rescind that. He could. And the Conservatives, as I recall, in the House, they did vote against it. But the Liberals and the NDP pushed it through. Now it's into the Senate, and now it's about to receive final approval. So the Conservatives did push back, as I recall, against it. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm just doing this off of memory. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they get into power, potentially Poilievre could, say no. But nobody's even asking him about it. Nobody's holding even the Conservatives' feet to the fire on this, and we should be. This is a critical issue.
You see, and that really bothers me. How come all we ever hear in the House? I don't care about the hoo-ha and the name-calling. That's whatever. That's the House of Commons. But the thing is, they're just yapping about the carbon tax and the groceries and the number of people to the food bank. Now, make no mistake, trust me, I feel empathy, okay? I do gymnastics every month with our finances here. But nobody is talking about this.
I think I know why. Because I don't think either side wants to risk fighting the election on an issue that uses the word pandemic again. It's such it was such a traumatic time that I don't think the politicians want the public to even think about it. Even if the Conservatives are opposed to Bill C-293, and I think they sort of are, but maybe not, because they didn't really help us out during the pandemic. We still got locked down, and that's my position on it. Other people view it differently, and that's the problem, because you have to remember that during the pandemic, the majority of people, especially in the beginning, were so scared, they were demanding of the government that we be locked down. I remember people freaking out. It was a very small minority of people that didn't want masking and lockdowns.
Right? Do you
Right?
remember people were emptying their savings account and running to Walmart and buying toilet paper
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, seriously, they were emptying their bank accounts and everything. Like, the world is ending, and I'm watching all this going, oh my God.
Like me, I was horrified that we were being locked down, while the majority of other people were like, we have to do all these things or we're going to die. Right? And if you talk to anybody and you took an opposing position, they would freak out. I mean, there were literally people, remember people fighting in stores over masks?
Yes.
Right? That guy doesn't have a mask on. He's not following the arrows the right way. Get him! And
I know.
I mean, think back. It was insane. We, as a society, as a community, we failed the fascism test badly.
Yes, we did.
Right?
I mean, they were fighting over toilet paper. I remember watching oodles of YouTube videos of women fighting like kids over a batch of toilet paper.
Yeah.
And like on one hand, it's funny, but on the other hand, it's like we collectively lost it, if you will.
But see, even today at that protest, the 1 million March for Children, the counter protesters, what did they have on their faces?
Oh, I know.
Masks. Because it wasn't just about the virus. See, they're going to that protest, they've got the masks on, can't see their faces.
Interesting.
It is very
so
interesting.
They're taking something and using it for their own reasons now. I didn't quite think of that.
Oh yes. Oh yes. There was way more to the masking than a virus, in my opinion. And when you see also what's going on with the protests in the streets, with the protests on campus, what are they wearing? What are the protesters wearing? Keffiyehs and masks. So what followed the pandemic? What we have now. We've been conditioned for that. What's coming in the future? I don't think I'm crazy. In fact, I'm quite certain I'm not.
No, you're not at all. Yeah, that's how come I called. Sorry I threw this topic at you, but it's between, I basically quickly went through both bills, and I thought to myself, oh dear, like it's almost depressing because I mentioned it to a friend of mine, and the first thing she said to me was, what bill?
Mm-hmm.
I just about fell over. I'm like, you haven't heard of this? So I talked to her for about an hour, texted her some stuff, and she, after about an hour after that, she texted me back. She goes, oh my God, how come the news isn't talking about
I
this?
have to confess, I wasn't on my radar until a few weeks ago when I received a phone call from somebody who was like, why aren't you talking about this? And I was like, what do you mean? It's already in the Senate. It's already in the Senate. Yeah, it's gone that far, but see, it's not getting any coverage, so how would anybody know? I mean, they mention it in the House, but you need to watch the House at length every day. You need to follow all of this. Who has time for that? Nobody.
I don't.
That's why we're here. We need to inform people. This is what this program's about.
Well,
This is
I'm
why
just
we're
thinking
here.
people should keep their heads in a swivel and just pay attention and just, just
And
pay attention.
I'm so glad you called in to talk about this tonight, because I have actually been looking for someone to come on to do an interview about this, and I haven't been able to find anybody yet.
Really?
That's right. So at least nobody willing who
Oh,
would step up and join me on the program to have a discussion about it, who knows about it. So I'm glad that you phoned in, because now we've been able to finally raise this very important issue for the viewers here, our community.
Thank you.
Yeah,
well, I'm
thank you.
glad, because it's like, I mean, you know me, like, I mean, I joke sometimes, but I'm not even laughing, because this bill has me really worried. I mean, I thought I was worried about the other one, but that ain't nothing compared to this one.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. Well, listen, we're getting up near the top of the hour, and I have to start getting ready for a Maverick Midnight Matinee. So before we sign off, I'm going to ask you, what do you think the movie is for tonight on Maverick Midnight Matinee?
Oh my God, give me a hint.
Okay, so I said the hint that I gave Johnny was the star of the movie is really, really, really ugly. What other clue can I give you? Okay, the movie is old. It's a classic, and it was made in the 1930s.
Oh, is it like a space movie or a horror movie?
I don't. That's another clue. You're asking me to give it away.
Well, I'm stinky.
It is not a space movie.
Oh, what was his name that did the voice on the Michael Jackson movie?
Vincent Price. No, Vincent Price was that. This movie's too old for Vincent Price.
Okay.
Before Vincent Price.
Valentino?
1930s. Nope.
No, that's before.
No, really ugly. Really ugly. Ugly.
Oh God.
Scary ugly.
I can't think of any ugly stars.
Okay,
All the old guys are really cute.
Okay, no. The star of the show was very misunderstood.
Oh. Male or female?
Male.
Misunderstood.
Although, I don't know. I guess he could be any gender he wants if it was 2024, but it was the 1930s, back when there were only two genders.
Oh God! Oh God!
At least in the movies. In fact,
who
they had
was that multimillionaire that did the?
Howard Hughes.
Yes.
No.
Am I right? No.
No, it wasn't a Howard Hughes film.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't guess.
Okay, he's a blockhead.
Oh God. A blockhead?
I'm gonna look in the chat here. Oh, Halo, you got it, Frankenstein.
Oh, Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. I wasn't looking in the chat. I should have been looking in the chat. Maybe somebody over on Rumble got it too. I don't know.
Oh, right on, Frankenstein. I'll be here.
Frankenstein. He's alive. It's alive.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna run that tonight. Total classic.
on.
I was gonna run some other stuff, and then I don't know. We're gonna do old Frankie tonight. Haven't seen that in a long time. When I was a
you're
kid,
doing the 30s one. That's a really good one. That's
it is.
well
It's
done.
really good. When I was a kid, this is one of the personal story. When I was a kid, I bugged my parents in just wouldn't stop. I wanted to have a film. I wanted a movie to make films. So I need a movie camera. I want a movie camera. So my parents scrimped and saved, and they bought a movie camera and projector, Super 8 millimeter, from my uncle used. And that's one of the things that got me into media back in the day. And I got it for Christmas, and my uncle also included some film reels of movies. And one of them was some clips from Frankenstein, from the 1930s Frankenstein. And so I used to run that constantly and watch that film loop, which was silent, but this isn't a silent film. I just had a silent version. But that's one of the things that got me into media and making videos and films. And I was only, how old would I be back then? I was only about, I'd be like 10, 11 years old. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. It was
That's
in
just a few
1970s.
years ago. That's not too many years ago, Rick.
I know. Oh my God. I was looking at movies from when I was a kid, and some of them are in black and white from the 1960s. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so old. Oh my. But yeah, it's going to be a great film tonight. So.
Right on. Well, we'll be here. We'll be watching her. But thanks very much, Rick. And Maverick family, you all take care. You have a great night, great weekend. Don't worry about it. We'll come out on the other side.
Outstanding call. Thank you. Appreciate you calling in tonight, as always.
Thanks so much, Rick. You enjoy.
Okay, see you. Bye.
Right on. Bye-bye.
Okay, and Seize the Day says, too bad Rick doesn't discuss the science and how effective those masks are against viruses. They ain't N95ers. Yeah, well, that was a whole part of the issue back then too, right? And I still see the odd person walking around wearing masks even today. But, whole other issue. Again, folks, if you are so inclined, you can support the program by donating at maverickdonations.com. That's the Give, Send, Go page. I'm going to take this banner down here. Hang on a second. Take that one down. At maverickdonations.com. You can also donate at freedomreporters.com. That's the PayPal. $10 donation or more, I'll send you the whole album, the whole Free Dog album. $30 or more, I can send you either one of those Trump Fighting for Freedom or the straight Trump Fight t-shirts. Just tell me what size you need. They all come in black. Or you can have a Maverick News t-shirt. We also have the polos with the embroidered logos. We have hoodies, $60 or more. And we have, what else? The polo shirts, I'm missing something. We have other shirts too. You know the drill. Just tell me what size you need, what you want. I'll hook you up. And I also have to say that I'm really, well, this next tune I'm going to play here to close things off tonight, this is a tribute to my wife. We're talking about those lockdowns, so it's entirely appropriate to run this tonight. This tune I put together with my wife in mind. It's called Tracy, and she puts up with me, and I'm so grateful for that, and I love her so much. And I wrote this song. It makes reference to all the changes we've gone through over the last few years. Mentions the lockdowns, the kids growing up, leaving the house. You know, about life in 2024. Looking back and looking ahead. And just another track from the Free Dog Freedom Song Collection. So hope you like it, and I hope you like it enough to consider supporting the program. Like, share, subscribe, donate at freedomreporters.com. Love you guys. I will see you at 10 p.m. in about 50 minutes. I'll be back with Maverick Midnight Matinee and tonight's feature presentation of Frankenstein. It's a great movie. It really is a good one. It's old, but still very watchable. So, see you then on the flip side.
You're the Tracy, can't you see? You're the one for me in this world of change. You're my constant flame. We've been through the highs and the lows, oh my. Tracy, in your eyes, I see the sky. Tracy, you're my angel in this world so cold. Through the lockdowns and fear, your love's what I hold. Though the times have changed us and the world's upside down, Tracy, you're the one in this mess you're found. You remember the days when we'd laugh and we'd cry. Now the kids are grown and we're asking why. But in your touch, I find my way. Tracy, through the night, you light my day. Tracy, you're my angel in this world so cold. Through the lockdowns and fear, your love's what I hold. Though the times have changed us and the world's upside down, Tracy, you're the one in this mess you're found. In the haze of life, where we lost our way, Tracy, with you I found my way. Through the political divide and the fear we've known, Tracy, you're my beacon, my heart's not alone. You danced through the years, through the joy and the tears. In this life with you, I face my fears. Still together though changed, in this dance of life, Tracy, with you I'll cut through the strife. Tracy, you're my angel in this world so cold. Through the lockdowns and fear, your love's what I hold. Though the times have changed us and the world's upside down, Tracy, you're the one in this mess you're found. So here's to us, Tracy, through thick and thin, in this crazy world where we've always been. Together we'll find in the haze our way. Tracy, my love forever, come on, May.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.